Okay, thank you very much for the time. Hello, good day. So today I'm going to give you my presentation on my theoretical framework analysis for securing the final frontier. Comparative analysis in U.S. space policy between Obama's presidency and Trump's presidency through bureaucratic politic approach. So in this conceptual in this theoretical framework, I will talk about how my independent variable is conceptualized and operationalized, as well as the dependent variable, as well as what is the relationship between the two, what is the diagram, conceptual diagram of this whole research, and as well as scope and limitation, especially in answering the research question proposed here, which is to what extent does domestic bureaucracies affect the policy-making process in U.S. space policy. Next. The conceptual diagram that I choose is looks like this. So in this model, you can see that there's only one independent variable, as well as there's only one dependent variable. So in this sense, my independent variable is the assumption that the U.S. domestic politics is just inherently different between each president's administration. And when I say inherently different, it doesn't mean the politics is different or everything is different. It's just that because it is a different leadership, because it is a different uh, time, different thus proposes different challenges, different resources, and different problems. And of course, that means different ways to solve the problem, different perceptions, and etc. That's why I assume that U.S. domestic politics is the independent variable here that will uh, and the domestic politics affects how this domestic political decision-making process creates space policy outcomes, and which is going to be discussed in the dependent variable, which going to be using the theory of bureaucratic politics approach in seeking out who is the players in this game called domestic politics in the US, and what are the clashing objectives or prioritization or interest in the making on the process of this space policy. And of course, basically just every other aspect of the process in the political process of the decision making that finally creates this space policy as the resultant of this political bargaining within the domestic politics. Now, the relationship why I focused on space policy is because US is a major space power, historically, political, and military. And during the Obama and Trump era, there is a renewed interest, especially in the Trump era, regarding space. Following the creation of the new space policy, and the most recent one is the Trump era's national space policy from the US in 2020, meaning that there is at least a clear national interest of the United States towards the space domain. However, there are intervening factors here that, of course, affects the domestic perception. Not necessarily is it doesn't necessarily impact it, but it does influence it. That's why I call it intervening factor, which is the international relation and other domestic dynamics that are not necessarily connected to space. For example, is there any competitions between the space policy with other policy? For example, during Trump, there is the the COVID pandemic, right? Of course, does it have any impact in or limitation, or does it hinder the creation of U.S. space policy during this time, or etc.? And basically, or any other international aspects, such as there is a heightened tension with North Korea or maybe China, affect this space policy and etc. and things like that. Even though it's not necessarily it's not necessarily domestic, but I believe that the most important part is the domestic interpretation of these international dynamics. And lastly is, of course, the need for comprehensive space policy. Since space is becoming more accessible, and there's just inherent changes because now public-private partnership exists in regards to space, no longer monopolized by space only. And there's, of course, not only monopoly on space access to US and Soviet Union anymore. Now, even there are new space powers that are rising up. So that's why there is a need for better understanding on space policy and how to make a good one and etc. like that. But that's actually the point, and we will analyze how this bureaucratic politics actually either helps or it just changes how the space policy is supposed to be, or at least maybe that's the best possible outcome in this political bargaining process. Well, next. The conceptualization goes like this: the president of the United States is the highest, the ultimate decision maker. However, it's US is not a one-man show. It's a democracy. It has lots of other decision makers, which of course influences with all of these diverse sets of ideas, perceptions, and debates. And of course, it will affect the policy making itself and thus the policy outcome. That's why the national interest, it's not a rational unitary process, but in fact several people, especially in power, not only the president, maybe Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, and everything like that, or maybe it's even the house, the Congress itself has certain power to accept or deny these kinds of policy. It changes and influences the policy outcome itself. Now, the operationalization goes like this: the background, preference, and behavior of key politician decision maker matters. If a policy is a politician that creates this has a scholar background, he will focus on scientific, for example. But if he's a businessman, maybe focus on economic aspect and etc. like that. Domestic institution also matters in the policy making process. How is the policy made? How is the policy structured? What is the dominant political system? Because it's democracy, there's bound to be lots of input, and there needs to be a way to filter this input into the most optimal policy that matters, and things like that. Of course, it will be different in every other kinds of political system, but yeah, that's the assumption is the domestic institution, and the system in place in domestic affects this process. And the dominant political perception also matters, in which if the current dominant political is for example, during Trump era, there is the trade war with China. So will this competitive aspect or competitive nature affect the space policy? Now, that's a question for a later date. And space policy is a public policy, essentially, meaning it's a US government's take on how to solve problems, especially national interest problem, national challenges in regards to US relations to space. And that's why my operationalization goes like this: space policy is a result of a decision-making process by the government and its apparatuses in regards to national interest of the state towards how the space affairs. And then space policy also reflects the state's problem-solving methods and strategy relative to their interest in space. And lastly, space policy could have a specific or multiple focus, meaning that it could, like there are some space policies during Trump and Obama era that only focus on certain aspects, such as in trade or commercialization. But there is, like the national space policy, not only considers economic factors, but also considers political factors, diplomatic factors, and as well as the defense or security sectors. This is how space policy can be robust or narrow, and the operationalization is just depending on how the administration focuses on this space policy itself. And lastly, the relationship between the two is by understanding bureaucratic politics, in which the key assumption of this bureaucratic politics is government bureaucracy is not a unitary actor, but in fact it's a game of political bargaining. Some people have bargaining advantages because maybe they are closer, the player, some closer are closer to the main player, which is, for example, the president is the main player, the main decision actor. But there are decision actors that are close to him, or maybe far from him, or maybe there are people that actually have legit concerns in political concerns, but they cannot get close to him because they are not close to these players. It's all about the bargainings, the push and pull, the tug of war, and the turf wars on who gets who, and who is more dominating in the domestic political dynamics, basically, that will influence how this policy outcomes. The different players affects the dominant influence patterns, and changes in players could also affect the bargaining dynamics and the policies called decision making. There are several cases like would Obama as a Democrat have better space policy that is Democrat oriented, international multilateralism, international cooperation during his second term, in which it is mostly dominated by Republicans, or will it clash? And during the Trump administration, because his administration is mostly consisted of the Republican people, his administration successfully opted for national interest militarization competition in space, things like that. And lastly, the scope and limitation is basically I'm going to focus on state level of analysis on the US during Obama presidency and Trump presidency only. I will focus only on the process of the policy making itself and the research regarding to it, and not on the result and how it is carried out or implemented itself, because that will be another research completely. And the research will rely on the qualitative analysis of accessible data, official documents, and other relevant scholarly analysis on the topics. And lastly, this study aims to test how bureaucratic politics occur in domestic space policy and conception prioritization, especially in the US. Basically, I would like to see whether bureaucratic politics not only occur in foreign policy or maybe defense policy, but it also occurs in every other public policy that we could imagine of, which is for mainly in this case, if we're going to try it in space policy. And that is all from me. Yep, and that is all from me. Hopefully, my presentation is understandable. I'm very sorry if there are mistakes or there are some lacking aspect that I still cannot explain. But without further ado, thank you very much for your time and hope to have your listen to your feedbacks. Thank you very much for the attention.